morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela, and we are the Castros.
Happy Friday to everyone. And since it's Friday, we're joined by...
Buddha's Belly.
Oh, Buddha's Belly with
Meron
Marjorie
tayong
Tan.
chicken feet, yung favorite natin na fried rice, egg fried rice na tawag dyan. Tapos pansit canton. And of course,
Lumpia.
all-time favorite, lumpia. Dapat matikman yan ni Chef Gordon Ramsay. Kasi masarap din yan.
Matuwa rin yan si Chef. Okay, we're serving you today's headlines.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Senate President Cheese Escudero maintained that the 2025 national budget signed by President Bongbong Marcos did not contain any blank items. Meanwhile, Representative Raul Manuel said there were 14 blank items in the BICAM 2025 budget report. Here are the details.
Senate President Cheese Escudero has addressed claims by Davao City Representative Isidro Ungab regarding the presence of blank items in the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the 2025 national budget. He said that Ungab should have known better given his experience as a former chair of the House of Representatives Committee on Appropriations.
Ang hindi ko maintindihan sa nagrereklamo, dati siyang naging approach chairman, alam niya ang patakaran. Ito ang alam ko. Wala pang dineklarang unconstitutional na Bicameral Conference Committee report.
Escudero clarified that it was not the enrolled bill that was circulating with blank items.
Ang tanong, yung GAA ba, in General Appropriations Act ba, yung enrolled bill ba, may blanco ba? Hindi tama na mag-akusang may blank check na binigay ang Kongreso. Mali yun. Kasinungalingan yun at hindi totoo yun. At kung blanco man yung nasa GAA, hindi pwedeng i-release ng DBM yun. Hindi pwedeng i-release ng National Treasury yun.
Meanwhile, Kabataan Party List Representative Raul Manuel claimed to have identified 14 blank entries in the BICAM report. 8 blanks were under the Department of Agriculture's Office of the Secretary, 2 in the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, 1 in the Philippine Coconut Authority, 1 in the National Irrigation Administration, and 2 in the Unprogrammed Appropriations.
Very disappointing to know na totoo na yung BICAM report na nakarating sa mga mambabatas na niratify ng House at ng Senate ay may mga blank.
Manuel stressed the need to determine who filled in the blanks for the final version that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed last December 30. Manuel also called on BICAM members to speak out on the issue. Under the law on falsification of legislative documents, those found guilty could face up to 6 years in prison and a fine of no less than 12 million pesos. Escudero and other lawmakers have now challenged those questioning the 2025 national budget to file a case in court. For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
The question is naman yung sa GAA. Yung GAA mismo, wala naman blanks. Tsaka tama si Senator Cheese Escudero. If the GAA ang may blanks, DBM will not release anything na may blanco.
Actually, pumasok na nga sa eksena si former Senator Ping Lacson, which is nakilala natin talagang nag-scrutinize ng budget.
Is sa tigre ng pagbabudget yan.
Nabanggit niya dito na parang ang nangyari daw nito is same as nung before ng 2019 budget na na-veto ng President, kaya re-enacted sila. Kasi di ba sila nag-scrutinize nga sila ng budget. Ito yung sinasabi mo rin sa akin yesterday and the other previous days, na kapag yung enrolled bill ay different dun sa ratified na BICAM, minsan kasi ang ginagawa, di ba, kung dito may ina-add.
May ina-add,
insertion. So, usually, di ba, kaya yung iba, like yung sila Senator Ping Lacson, sinasabi nila, na-scrutinize sila yung 2019 kasi may nakita sila doon ng mga added provisions na hindi naman yun yung in-approve ng BICAM. So, ang pino-point out niya dito, if yung enrolled bill is different from the ratified BICAM report, ang ibig sabihin, ang tanungin mo dyan ng House of Representatives kasi sila yung in charge ng printing of this bill. Sabi na ngayon, teka lang tapos kung yung enrolled bill still contained blank spaces, the burden shift to the executive branch, particularly yung Department of Budget and Management. Kasi nasabi nila dito, even si Representative Raul Manuel, alamin kung sino yung nag-fill in nung blanks na yun. Oh.
Okay.
Then you were saying something.
Okay na.
No, hindi kasi I'm just pointing out yung
Natunto naman naman lahat.
Oo. Kasi ba sinasabi mo nga sa akin, kasi minsan may mga ina-add sila na hindi naman pala yun yung... Kaya minsan yung sa Senate, nagugulat sila, wala naman yun dun sa bill. Kaya sinasabi ni Senator Ping Lacson, dapat sinuscrutinize din talaga yan ng Senate. Which is yung ginagawa niya before.
Sinuscrutinize naman yan, yung bicameral nga, yung from both chambers of Congress, upper and lower, scrutinized version, pasado na, pirmado na nila yung actual draft, tapos ang ginagawa nila, papaprint nila sa House Secretariat o yung final copy. Ang problema, during the printing of the final copies, bago pumapalo sa printer yan, minsan may mga siraulong congressman nag-i-insert or nag-a-add or iba yung amount. Pero ang assumption kasi ng bicameral committee is
kung ano yung pinag-usapan nila by okay
approve
na yun.
natin to Approve na natin to. So, hindi na nila titignan yan.
Yes.
Kasi ang daming pahina niyan para tignan isa-isa. So, syempre, di ba, out of good faith, yung printed copy, they will all sign and transmit it to the President.
Yes.
And the President now will sign the General Appropriations.
Which is yung sinasabi ni Senate President Cheese Escudero na there are no blank items in General Appropriations Act, which is totoo naman. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng pirmahan ng Presidente yung GAA na may mga blank items.
Why does Congress leave blanks? Kasi yung blanks kasi parang imbis na magkaroon sila ng stalemate in discussions, hindi sila nagkakaunawa sa budget ng isang, sabihin mo na, Bureau of Aquatic and Fisheries, di ba? Yung fisheries, yung budget niyan. Imbis na maipit sila dyan ng 10 araw, sige, move natin sa side, leave it blank, tapusin natin lahat, then we will go. Ganun ang ginagawa.
Pero
kaya may
yung never magiging blanco
at the final report.
Ang General Appropriations
Never.
Act. So kaya nga 'di ba kahapon pinag-uusapan natin dito is iba yung dokumento na pinag-uusapan nung partido nila nila Representative Ungab with the former President Rodrigo Duterte at yung sinasabi naman ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos.
Ang umabot kay PRRD yung bycam report yan na hindi pa tapos, na hindi pa fully inserted.
Pero yun nga sinasabi na sino ang nag-fill in ng blanks na yun?
Baka sila din.
Kailangan daw.
Kasi alam ko ginagawa ng Congress yan.
Kaya nga ngayon, di ba, tinatanong
let's
di ba, umexit daw sa likod si Representative Stella Kimbo. Tinatanong siya, isa siya sa mga in charge di ba, sa committee. Hindi pa niya masabi. Sasagutin daw niya next week. Anyway, so sabi naman, kung may reklamo, dalhin sa Korte.
Dahil sa Korte Suprema.
Alright. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio reaffirmed the United States' ironclad commitment to the Philippines under the leadership of President Donald Trump. This assurance came during a recent call with Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo. The two officials discussed ways to strengthen security cooperation, expand economic ties, and deepen regional collaboration. In a statement, the U.S. State Department said that Rubio condemned China's behavior, which undermines regional peace and is consistent with international law. Meanwhile, in a post on X, formerly Twitter, Manalo said the Department of Foreign Affairs looks forward to working with Rubio. Last week, Rubio called out the presence of China's monster ship inside the country's exclusive economic zone, or EEZ. In response, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said its activities in the Philippine waters were lawful. She added that the U.S. had no right to intervene in the South China Sea issue.
Military cooperation between the U.S. and the Philippines should not undermine China's sovereignty and maritime rights and interests in the South China Sea, nor should it be used to endorse the illegal claims of the Philippines.
Yan, si Secretary Rubio, then Senator Rubio, had always close ties with our Philippine lawmakers. Madami siyang kausap. During the PRRD administration, madami rin siyang kausap about yung human rights issues.
Yes.
So he's always been in touch with us and supportive of our stance against China. And bago nga na si President Trump na inaugurate, di ba nagkaroon ng statement si Marco Rubio, very strong statement against China's trying to posture itself
as a monster ship.
Diba? No, in general, trying to posture itself sa West Philippine Sea issue.
Kaya nga 'di ba hindi pa daw umiinit yung yung pag-upo niya bilang Secretary of State. Meron siya kaagad itong mga statement ito, which is pabor naman sa atin. Pero of course, as I've said, 'di ba, ang China ayaw nila na may ibang outsider, supposedly sinasabi nila, na nakikialam dito sa usapin ng West Philippines.
Kasi sila, hindi nila kailangan outsider, alam nila yon. So malakas loob nila magsabi na we don't need outsiders joining in. How is any other country in Asia supposed to posture itself against China? Yung only other nation na nakikita ko is Japan. Although militarily, they're not a superpower, but they're an economic superpower. So Japan can stand up to China, but generally we need outside help if we're going to deal and we have equal footing. In other words, sa negotiating table, patas tayo para makapag scrap out or hack out a good deal beneficial for all of us. Kailangan may kasama tayong malakas-lakas, superpower, kumbaga. The Agriculture Department is considering imposing fines for violators of rice price cap. The DA said they may recommend stricter controls with penalties of up to 1 million pesos for violators. That is if the price cap fails to lower rice prices to reasonable levels. Recall that the agency has capped imported rice at 58 pesos per kilo in Metro Manila markets. But there are still stores that sell rice above the cap at 59 to 60 pesos per kilo.
Nung nakausap ko yung ASEC ng DA sa kabilang programa sa One Balita Pilipinas, sinasabi niya nung first day ng implementation ng MSRP, they've
Maximum
seen
sales retail price,
maximum suggested
retail price.
Nakita daw nila sa ibang mga pamilihan na meron pa rin nagtitinda ng 59, 60. Pero sinabi nila, winarningan lang muna nila. But on the second day, dapat talaga parusahan yung mga violators itong price cap.
Minsan kasi yung
it's in the law.
mga vendors na to try nilang makalusot by putting a tag on it, like super special, di ba? Pinagsabi na nga ng
Kaya ayaw na nila ng mga
bawal
label.
na nga yun maglalagay ng label. Basta dinurado, sinandoming, malagkit, yon. Pero lalagyan mo super special dinurado, well-milled sinandoming. Bawal na yung ganun.
Bawal na.
Kasi,
Pero ngayon, ang tanong dito, hanggang kailan itong MSRP? Kasi sinasabi ng ibang mga small retailers, parang lugi sila dahil nga maliit lang sila.
baka habang may food emergency.
Yun ang sinasabi din ng DA, they will check every week.
Yeah.
Yung market price.
Hanggang
and
stable.
to see kung stable, kung okay na, then they can remove yung MSRP. Pero if not, continue lang.
Actually, this last 8 years, rice has never, yung bigas, hindi siya stable.
Oo, hindi.
Paiba-iba
Even if
siya,
nung ginawa nila, di ba, binababa yung taripa, yung tariff ng import rice from 35%, ginawang 15%
Naalala ko
to
nun,
lower daw the cost of the rice. Pero still,
Nalala ko noong 80s and 90s, ang rice siguro hindi nagpapalit ng presyo yan for 3-4 weeks. Steady yan ngayon. Every other week, nagpapalit ata up, down, up, down. Noon may may...
then we will see ngayon kung ano yung magiging effect nung gagawin nila ng pagde-declare ng food security emergency.
Yeah, emergency,
Pero wala pa kasi supposedly January 22 yon, pero hindi pa daw nakarating sa DA yung proposal ng NPCC para pag-aralan yung declaration. So we'll see. All right, coming up, at least 4 people, including 2 soldiers, were killed in an armed clash in Basilan.
And the Armed Forces is now investigating the discovery of an underwater drone in Bohol.
Ang dami na palang mga underwater na nakita
5.
nila last year pa.
5.
Ngayon lang natin
5 to 6
isa-isa
na
sa
daw.
balita.
Oo.
Alright, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Maraming salamat kay Margarita ng Buddha's Belly for this. Diba? We have
Pancit, fried rice,
lumpia.
adidas, and lumpia. Fried lumpia.
Yes. Oo. Okay, sige,
greetings.
batiin ko lang itong mga nasa Facebook natin, as usual, na mga nanonood sa atin. Si Migs Ebron, unang-una daw siya nag-comment dito. Si Sam Pokemon Go, si Ralph. Ayan.
Ralph
Hi,
Domingo.
Ralph. Si Deng Pangilinan, si De Leon, Royupa, Lester, at saka of course, kay Elmer Reyes family nanonood din sa atin. Si, what you call this? Si, Mina Benales.
Oh, Jesse Mendez family.
Mendez family. Tita Esther. Si VJ, at saka si Ate Aiza.
Good morning.
Mother Earth, of course. Dito naman sa YouTube, si Summer Cabrera, yung ating mga usual suspects. Si Elmo Cardenas, Happy Friday po sa inyo. Leonie Valdesoto, si, of course, Tita Daisy Cancho, Tito Naldi, Kuya Jopet, nanonood sila all the way from Antipolo. And happy birthday kay Patricia Cancho. Ayan. And nanonood din si Tita Mirna Almaria of Pasig. Okay. All right, let's continue with our discussion for today. 4 people were killed in a deadly ambush in Sumisip Town, Basilan on Wednesday. Officials said 2 soldiers and 2 attackers were killed during the firefight. This occurred while Army troops were out providing security for a team from the UN Development Program during a community engagement.
We are working closely with the local government units and other law enforcement agencies to ensure na itong mga perpetrators na ito ay will be put to the folds of the law and justice will be served dun sa ating fallen heroes.
Now, the military said the attack was carried out by a group supported by some members of the MILF. According to the group, the Army's lack of coordination led to the encounter.
Hindi po rin namin gustong magkaroon ng escalation, hindi po namin itutulirit. Alam po namin na talo po tayo lahat pag magkakaroon po ng unnecessary encounter.
I was reading the report about it at sinasabi nila 2 of yung mga yung mga ambushers tawag nila doon ay were known or are known in the area na may mga involvement sa mga criminal activities.
So,
Ngayon, ang tanong dyan, is it really confirmed na sila ay supported by MILF group? That we need to know also.
sige, let's get the latest on that.
Armed Forces spokesperson Colonel Francel Padilla is now joining us on the line. Thanks for joining us again, Colonel. Good morning.
Hello ma'am, magandang umaga po. Good morning po. Good morning sir. Magandang umaga rin po sa inyong mga taga-subaybay.
Colonel, hingi lang po kami ng update sa inyo dito po sa nangyari na to. 4 po na katao ang namatay nga po dito sa Basilan Clash. Kamusta po yung mga nasugatan na sundalo?
Una po sa lahat, we condone po with the family po, and extend po yung aming pusong pakikiramay dito po sa pamilya ng mga nasawi na tropa po natin, and we'd like to acknowledge po the heroism and the sacrifice that they offered para po sa ating kapayapaan.
So, kamusta po yung mga nasugatan na sundalo natin? Nasaan na po sila?
Yung mga wounded po, ma'am, kahapon po, pinisita po sila ng ating Chief of Staff, si General Romeo Browner Jr., and they are given the appropriate medical attention po, and that po, they were also given the Wounded Personnel Medal to acknowledge nga po itong kanilang sacrifice, para po, and heroism para po dito sa operation na naganap po.
Yes, Colonel, sinasabi po ng kabilang panig na lack of coordination daw ang naging issue dito on the part of AFP, kaya daw nagkaroon ng encounter. Ano po ba yung mga events that led up to this actual encounter?
Sir, we have to take into context that this is a humanitarian mission. So ang purpose po ng ating movement for that day is to provide for security po, para sa ating United Nations development practitioners. With that, ito po is a legit humanitarian mission. It was well coordinated, well in advance din po. Nandyan po yung communications that was given to their end and to all na sangay po ng pamahalaan na involved in this, We have to take into into the into context na ito po ay normalization process na po tayo at this point.
Okay.
So napakalayo na po ng narating natin dito sa peace process. And hindi na po tayo nagkakaroon ng mga areas na hindi pwedeng pasukin ng militar or anything to that effect, no? Kasama po lahat 'yan sa peace process na nabuo natin.
That's right.
So that morning din po, we also would like to put it out there na ito pong ating brigade commander was together with the mayor and their group leader, no, that morning. And in their conversations, kasama doon na talagang merong operations na gagawin po for development ang UNDP. And of course, ano naman po 'yan, no, kaakibat po ng mga development practitioners na kasama po talaga ang ating mga kasundaluhan sa kanilang mga movements.
Okay. So, can you please enlighten us, Colonel, para lang po mas malinawan po kami dito sa mga naging issue na to prior nga dun sa usapin na wala daw pong coordination. Can you tell us more about it? Ano po ba dapat na coordination yung ginawa para po hindi na po sana, naiwasan po sana ito pangyayari na ito? At ano po ba dapat yung protocol?
On the side of the AFP, all the necessary protocols were made. There were advanced coordinations that were in place. Ang sabi ko nga, no, talagang magkasama pa itong mga leaders namin, both sides, in that morning. So they very well know that there are going to be movement from the armed forces of the Philippines. Over and above that, ma'am, with the peace process, well identified naman po ang ating sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas. Our trucks are na meron naman po mga yan na talagang AFP own yan, army po yan, no? And our troops are well in uniform. So lahat po yan with the peace process na identified nga po ang ating ang mga tropa. So with that we don't need advanced coordination in order for us to do that. And plus it was a humanitarian mission. It was not a law enforcement mission at all.
Yung mga involved dito, Colonel, yung they said that they belong to a group that supposedly is supported by the MILF. Could you tell us more about itong dalawang namatay? Kasi ang dami pong lumalabas na kwento out there para at least we get it straight from you about the identity of these people.
After on the side of the MILF, no, we have yet to get po the casualties and details on their side. Sa part po natin, nakikipagtulungan po tayo. This is an open investigation and ang pino-point out na po natin diyan, no, there were some members of them na nahiwalay nga po, no, naligaw ng landas. And ang panawagan po ng AFP dito is for them to face the consequences of their actions.
Okay.
Given po nga na may mga reports po na sinasabi itong mga nag-carry ng attack na to ay supported by some members sa MILF, meron na po bang statement na inilabas na rin ng MILF or kayo po ba ay nakapagkaroon na po ng dialogue with them after this incident?
May mga interviews na rin po na na-conduct on their end, no? And of course, nagkaroon din po tayo ng press conference with our chief of staff din po who immediately went to the area and tinignan nga po yung condition ng ating tropa and also talk to our ground commanders. So, ito po, as I said, it is an ongoing investigation and nandiyan nga po ang panawagan nga po ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na ito po ay could be an isolated incident at miyembro po nila, they acknowledge it din po. And kung kami po, meron din kaming mga miyembro ng AFP po na medyo nagkakaroon po ng offenses o naliligaw ng landas, kami po ay talagang gumagawa ng necessary action to to sanction them. And we expect the same from their end po.
Saan po ba dapat pupunta itong team from UN Development Program para magsagawa nito mga anti-poverty programs?
Ito ma'am, no, different areas po, no, may iba't ibang programa sila na naka-line up within the different vicinities. So ito pong mga tropa natin are on their way po, no, para suportahan itong mga members po ng UNDP.
Do we have an idea po kung itong mga programs na ito ay itutuloy pa rin after this incident?
That is our hope, ma'am, no. Huwag po nating isang tabi ito pong gains that we have garnered throughout the years na isulong po natin itong ating peace process. Sa ngayon po, at this point, normalization na nga po ito, no? Development na po. Wala naman pong may gusto na mahinder pa ito ang pag-develop ng lugar na yan. Kung makikita po natin, slowly po nag-open na yan, no, for tourism. And for the past years po, wala na po tayong major incidents such as this. And ito po nangyari, malaking insidente po ito. Hindi po natin gusto na magkaroon pa ng ganito ulit. Especially po, we are nearing our election period and we want to maintain po the peace and ang pagiging peaceful din nitong parating pong elections.
Okay, on a different topic po before we let you go, Colonel, would like to ask you na rin regarding dun sa mga drone na nakuha po sa karagatan na may mga Chinese markings. Do we have an update on the investigation? Kasi meron daw pong mga nakuha over the last year, mga 5 na, according po sa Navy.
Opo, no, yung iba po dito, nasa Navy na po for us to conduct our forensic. Ang iba po na naiulat, yung isa po no, na nag-upload po online, was a past incident. And ang panawagan nga po natin sa mga kababayan natin dito, no, pag may nakita po silang ganito at natatakot po sila na i-recover or anything to that effect, makipag-coordinate lang po sa nearest BFAR or PCG or AFP unit. And kami po ang gagawa po ng necessary actions sa mga ganitong bagay. Ang pino-point out natin dito, ma'am, no, with all of these things that are happening, this is just one part of it, no. Security po is a responsibility of each one. So bawat mamamayang Pilipino po, parte po tayo ng ating seguridad. So pag may ganito po na makita nating kahina-hinala, i-report po, ipag-alam po sa amin, para po talaga pong ma-actionan natin ito.
Okay. So meron na rin po ba tayong update dun sa initial investigation ninyo kung para saan daw po ginagamit itong mga underwater drones na nakuha?
Meron tayong mga initial na release na dyan, ma'am, no, kung ano yung mga kinukuha niyang data based on the color nga po nitong mga drones. Yeah. So iba't iba po yan, no? Merong pag black, military po ito, and others po, yung mga civilian, yung yellow and orange. But ang natin dyan, ma'am, is what's important is saan ipinapadala yung data and what is the purpose of this collection of this data. So lahat po yan, ma'am, inaalam natin with our investigation and tinitignan nga po natin dyan how everything is connected to each other. So we're now taking a step back, looking at the bigger picture and connecting the dots. So ito po yan and moving forward, we'll let you know po how this is used in the coming days.
Meron po bang, last na po, meron po bang mga certain markings na nakita natin upon the investigation that will point out country of origin ng mga underwater drones?
Nailathala na rin po ito ng ating ng ibang ahensya po, ma'am, no, na una pong nag-forensics dito that there are Chinese characters in the sa mismong drone. But
sa
of
lahat
course,
na 5?
Hindi ko, ma'am, alam yung exact kung yung 5 yon pare-pareho, but yung iba kasi, ma'am, parts lang po, no, hindi naman po lahat yung 5 ay buo. So there will be just some of them who has it and some na wala pong external marking. Kaya at this point po, before we conclude anything, of course, we want to be evidence-based po.
Alright, on that note, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Padilla. Happy weekend po.
Happy weekend, ma'am, and maraming salamat po.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines is investigating the reported sighting of an underwater drone in the waters of Bohol. The AFP stressed its commitment to national security and encouraged the public to remain vigilant. Meanwhile, the Philippine Navy clarified what the video was recorded in July 2024. The AFP also urged the individual who found the drone and posted the video on social media to immediately coordinate with the nearest military or naval units to ensure the proper handling and disposal of the equipment. Since last year, the AFP has recovered at least 5 foreign underwater drones. In an interview with The Big Story, Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, said the drone sighted in Bohol resembles those previously discovered in Misamis Oriental.
Ito ay kapareho ng yellow drone and the red drone that was recovered in Initaw, Misamis Oriental. So we could say that most likely parehas ang objective ng drone na to, to collect bathymetric data.
Base yung data kasi na yan, for example, yung black ones na sinasabi ni Colonel Francel Padilla, yung military application, what it does kasi, it maps out routes pathway for a submarine usually. Kasi kinukuha niya yung depth ng isang lalim, yung temperature. Kasi ang submarine may certain temperature, may certain depth na kailangan para makadaan siya sa ilalim. So that's the data na kinukuha niya. Yung iba naman, focus on salinity dahil kung pwede ba mag-thrive ang isang development of species ng fish.
They can do that also.
They can do that also. Iba-ibang kaya hindi masabi ni Colonel Francel just kung saan binabato yung data, but definitely the yellow and the red are supposedly civilian in origin, and the black is military.
Tsaka ito lang ba, ngayon lang ba, last year and today, present yung nagkakaroon ng ganito na sighting sa mga underwater drone?
Actually, yung drone warfare has been happening for a long time. Even sa US, di ba may mga drones na nangyari? But usually
I'm
kasi...
saying here...
No, I'm just saying in general, it's a world thing. Sa US allows drones to come into the airspace or water provided it's not economic in origin. In other words, hindi makakakuha sa economic gains nila. Yung dito sa atin, we don't know how long have we been discovering drones sa waters.
Yes.
Basta ang alam lang natin for the past year, 5 or 6.
Pas pag nakakita kayo, huwag nyo na hawakan kasi we don't know naman how to dispose or handle
and the fishermen would not know, or anybody in the beach, baka hindi na alam anong difference between a drone and a torpedo.
Pwede rin. Alright. In other news, President Bongbong Marcos recognized the significant contribution of the Asian Development Bank to the country during a farewell call with outgoing ADB President Masatsugu Asakawa at Malacanang on Thursday. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza has the report.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met with outgoing Asian Development Bank President Asakawa Masatsugu in Malacanang yesterday. During the farewell call, PBBM recognized the ADB's significant contributions to the development of the country.
On the foreign assisted project, ADB especially, we've always been at the forefront of all the things that we do. And the biggest projects that we've been doing are with you. So we can look back on the time that you had here in the Philippines recently. We look back on it as a time that the engagements were very, very significant and very, very important in the Philippines.
He also cited its critical role, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. PBBM said that ADB support was critical to the country's recovery.
Of particular note, the support of ADB during the pandemic. That was critical. It was absolutely critical for our recovery. Without your help, it would have been much more.
He then described Asakawa's stay in the country as productive.
Firstly, we're very happy that we can look back on the time as being a very, very important and productive, and literally constructive.
Meanwhile, the chief executive conferred upon Asakawa the Order of Sikatuna with the rank of Datu. The award is given in recognition of Asakawa's leadership. Asakawa, who served as ADB president for 5 years, will be succeeded by Masato Kanda. Masato is set to assume office next month. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
The court has granted Apollo Quiboloy's motion to stay in the hospital for treatment for pneumonia. Quiboloy was brought to the hospital last week due to breathing difficulties. For now, the detained pastor is still experiencing cough. It is not yet clear when he will be transferred back to the Pasig City Jail. Quiboloy is facing a human trafficking case and other charges.
Maybe because he is not so used to the environment where he is placed now, and the ventilation may not be good for his health, knowing that he is already 74 years old.
Online personality Francis Leo Marcos has formally withdrawn from the race for senator in the 2025 midterm elections. Marcos cited concerns over the wasteful use of public funds for the reprinting of ballots. On January 21, the Supreme Court issued a temporary restraining order, or TRO, against COMELEC's decision to declare him as nuisance candidate. Another reason for his withdrawal is to give way for the re-election bid of Senator Amy Marcos. He stressed that his decision was not influenced by anyone.
The money of the people will be spent for nothing. So kung ako lang yung magiging hadlang para gumastos na naman ng panibagong 100 milyon ng gobyerno, mas mamatamisin ko na lang, marami pa namang eleksyon eh. Kasi kung dalawa nga kaming Marcos doon, baka parehas pa kaming matalo, imbis na kahit papano may Marcos na magsisilbi sa bayan, eh mawala pa.
Yun.
Siya
Ano nga yung totoo niyang name?
Nagkiklaim siya
Norman Mangusin.
Nagkiklaim siya na kamag-anak siya nila or anak ng long lost Marcos
Oo.
I don't
Kasi magkakagulo daw ngayon sa sa balota, 'di ba? Kasi alam naman natin yung face ng balota is alphabetically arranged.
Yeah, oo.
Tapos magkakasunod sila most definitely ni Senator Amy
So ko lang
Marcos.
malaman kung yung name niya sa birth certificate Marcos, but yun ang file niya sa
Siguro
Comelec.
nagpalit na siya. I don't know kasi unless 'di ba sabi naman ni Comelec chairman, unless i-challenge ang Comelec 'di ba dun sa material misrepresentation, tatanggap lang sila.
Ministerial duty lang
sila ng certificate of candidacy, yun ang sinabi nila sa atin. Pero looking beyond this picture, 'di ba? Syempre, ano dapat gawin o sino ba dapat yung sisihin dito sa nangyayari na ang daming pera, milyones, yung pinag-uusapan natin na nasira at of course nasayang dahil nga dito sa magpiprint, titigil kasi maglalabas ng decision ng Supreme Court. So when I talked to Comelec spokesperson attorney Rex Aldianco sa One Balita Pilipinas the other day, ang pinaplano daw ngayon ng Comelec is start na yung filing ng Certificate of Candidacy by July 2026 or 2027. And that way, they could give ample time para sa Supreme Court to review all the, kunyari, yung mga motion for reconsideration.
You have to remember kasi, Comelec has its own timelines and Comelec is independent of any other institution.
Yes.
As well as the Supreme Court is independent of any other institution. So therefore, they cannot base their timelines on the schedule of the other. So, Comelec sets these deadlines for it to function properly. Wala naman silang magagawa kung may lumalabas din na order ang Supreme Court.
Pero in good faith naman, nagkakaroon daw ng mga correspondence between Comelec and Supreme Court. Ang Comelec mismo nagbibigay ng letter. Ito po yung schedule namin. Kasi it was ordered also by Supreme Court. Tell us the schedule of Comelec. Diba? So, binibigay naman nila. Pero yun nga, nagtanong na rin sila kaya na by January 22, ay tapos na yung pagbibigay ng Supreme Court ng mga TRO para dire-diretso na yung printing ng Comelec.
Alright, don't go away. We're not done yet. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Okay, let's continue with our news.
Filipino crew members held captive by Houthi rebels are now safe and back here in the country. Here's the report.
At least 17 Filipino crew members returned to the Philippines on Thursday. They were among the 25 personnel held captive by Houthi rebels for more than a year in Yemen. The Foreign Affairs Department said the government of Oman led the dialogue with the rebel group.
We have to thank also countries like the US, Egypt, Qatar, who were responsible for getting the Israeli and Hamas ceasefire deal together, no?
The Filipino seafarers will immediately undergo psychosocial intervention.
They're traumatized, but I'm sure home is a great medicine. Pag nakauwi na sila. Walang injured if you mean that, no? They were treated well. Tumaba nga yung iba sa kanila. So at least that, alam natin, no?
President Bongbong Marcos thanked those involved in their safe return. He added that these seafarers are the reason why he signed the Magna Carta law for their protection. For News 5, Faith Del Mundo, we are One News.
I remember, 'di ba, talking about this dito sa atin about yung na-seize nga yung parang ito yung retaliation nila dun sa ginawa ng Israel over Gaza. So, I was wondering lang kung yung ang tawag dito yung kung saan dumaan itong vessel na to ay kasama ba yun dun sa mga hot zones na dapat hindi na daan?
You have to remember, may daanan dyan. There is a shipping line area kung saan dumadaan ng mga vessels. That is not really near Israel, but it's in proximity to where yung commerce ng Israel goes to and from. Kasi may linya ang ships ang Israel that goes to and from this area na wala na ibang labasan at pasukan.
So it's pala, near Hodeida, en route to India, yung itong vessel na to. So sinasabi nga nila na although this is operated by a Japanese firm, yung itong ship na to is British-owned vessel na according sa kanila, may mga links din to Israeli businessman Abraham Ungar. Parang ganun. Kaya isa yan sa mga tinarget nila dahil nga related nga dun sa retaliation ng retaliation nila over dun sa ginawa ng Israel over Gaza. But of course, we're happy to announce nga na 17 seafarers natin, mga Pilipino, ay nakabalik na dito sa Pilipinas.
Right, that's right.
Alright, in other news, a magnitude 5.8 earthquake struck San Francisco, southern Leyte on Thursday, January 23. Now, according to PHOX, the earthquake was tectonic in origin and occurred at a depth of 14 kilometers. Several structures, including schools, houses, and roads, were damaged due to the tremor. Varying intensities were felt across many areas, including southern Leyte, Samar, Eastern Samar, Surigao del Norte, Cagayan de Oro, Gingoog City in Misamis Oriental, Cebu City, parts of Capiz, and Mambahaw in Camiguin. 5.8, medyo mataas yun. Pero sinasabi nila hindi naman daw ito connected doon sa...
yung West Valley Fault.
Yung West Valley Fault
Marikina, that's in Marikina.
Oo, yung sinasabi nilang the big one.
Yung West Valley Fault kasi traverses from Marikina all the way to Taguig. Paikot yan. At pag yan daw ang gumalaw, yung expected damage is really massive. Kasi matagal na ang huling paggalaw niya. So ang in-expect nila 8 to 8.9 di ba? Yung the big one ang intensity niya.
Yeah. Pero nakita mo dito, ang lalaki ng mga yung mga bitak-bitak sa kali. And unfortunately, di ba, lagi naman natin dito pinag-uusapan dito na wala pa naman talaga tayong technology to...
You cannot predict earthquake. You can, usually, may lead time ka na ilang minutes, slight tremors na makikita. Uy, may parating na earthquake, but you cannot predict the actual time, where it will happen.
Kaya I remember nung pinag-uusapan pa yung the big one nga, di ba? Even before the pandemic, ang daming mga simultaneous exercises, yung mga drill na ginagawa in different agencies of the government to make sure na tayo mga mamamayan ay prepared nga para dito sa the big one. Tapos even in schools, 'di ba, yung mga bata nagkakaroon in several offices as well, mga
they can check out yung mga PhilVox website kasi meron mga tsaka yung mga local LGU, may mga zones. When an earthquake happens, you know, if you're from Quezon City, saan ka pupunta?
Yes, so yung parang command center, no?
Sa veterans area kasi ang ini-expect nila pag nagka big one earthquake, mabibitak ang Metro Manila and might be separated from each other. So you can check if you're QC, dito ka. If you're in Taguig, Manila, dito ka. So you can check that out sa mga website nila. The Philippine Star inaugurates its new headquarters in Parañaque City. The publication put up an exhibit that showed how it evolved throughout the years. The Philippine Star is the first Filipino newspaper that introduced colored pages. They stayed at their previous office in Port Area, Manila for over 3 decades.
But a new chapter, a new dawn for the Philippine Star. For close to 4 decades, the Philippine Star has been a guiding light to millions of Filipinos. We have navigated through pivotal moments in our nation's history, an unwavering commitment to truth, excellence, and service to the Filipino people.
Well, congratulations, and they've done very well. It's a tribute to the management team and to the people of the Star, no? for doing so well.
Again, congratulations to the Philippine Star. Meanwhile, the Smart Infinity Philippine Open 2025 officially kicked off on Thursday at Manila's Southwoods Golf and Country Club with 144 golfers in the tournament. Here's the report.
The Asian Tour Philippine Open 2025 is about to kick off with 144 participants vying for the coveted trophy. As mentioned, the Asian Tour Philippine Open kicks off with 144 participants. Several of those are our very own Filipino golf. They shared their thoughts on the 10-year hiatus and having it back in home turf.
My experience has been amazing. It's nice because you see a lot more of this professional setup internationally, and now it's brought to the Philippines, so it's perfect. In terms of playing this event, I'm just so happy that we get more opportunities as Filipino golfers to just compete in the big stage.
It's the return of the Philippine Open. This is a very special event, not only for me but for all the other Filipino golfers. It's a very prestigious event. I'm really happy it's back on the Asian Tour after 10 years.
It's really important because I don't think we had an international tournament for the past maybe 4 years. So it's good for an international tournament to finally come back here. So I'm excited to finally play at home and compete against the guys abroad.
It's very good that the Asian Tour came back after all this time. We don't have that much events here. It would be nice if there were more, but the Philippine Open being back since 2017, if I'm not mistaken, it's really a pleasure and an honor to play, especially against these Asian Tour guys. It's a good way to test our mettle, see where our skills stand, and it's a pleasure playing with these guys also, Asian Tour players.
My experience for this week, I'm really having fun. I'm having a really great time. I'm thankful for NGAP and Philippine Open for inviting me this week. Not taking it for granted and just trying to soak it all in and learn from the best.
Just like what our Pinoy athletes shared, having the Asian Tour kick off in the Philippines not only challenges each one of them, but gives our golfers the opportunity to learn from the best. The Philippine Open runs from January 23 to 26 at the Southwoods Golf and Country Club. This has been Bea Escudero.
After 2 years, hit videoke game show Singaling is finally returning to TV5. Mobile journal Denise Valdesancho gives us a glimpse of what to expect in this report.
Hindi, marami kayong maaabangan. Ang pagbabalik ng Singaling. Yeah.
Your favorite karaoke game show is making a grand comeback to back. Singaling is set to return this March for both the regular and Celebrity edition. Sing Masters Kay Brosas, Randy Santiago, and Donita Nos are back.
Given na yung mga nakakatawa, marami din mga emotional moments. Let's watch this.
That's alongside Duke bosses Ray Valera, Jezza Zaragoza, Ethel Buba, Ariel Rivera, and Alan Kay, who are also set to return. What should fans expect?
Siyempre, mas masaya kasi mas marami lalo ngayon. So, na-expect namin na mas mag-enjoy pa yung mga kaawit-bahay natin.
New edition, new faces. As more icons are expected to join, making this year's Singaling a better experience for the kaawit-bahays. Meanwhile, TikTok star Queenie is also making an appearance alongside Nico, Yan Yan, and Gab as one of the show's Sing Talkers.
Ito finally, harap-harapan makikita namin yung mga kaawit bahay talaga na solid na sumusuporta sa Singaling.
Zandy and first season winner of Singaling, Marimar Tua, are also taking on the role as the now Zending online hosts. Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho. We are One News.
Yan. So, abangan natin yan dito sa TV5 at marami pang ibang mga shows na paparating for 2025. Uy, balikan ko pala kanina yung pinag-uusapan natin sa Comelec, yung mga tungkol sa pangalan sa balota. Di ba si Francis Leo Marcos, sabi nila hindi naman daw talaga totoo
Yes,
yun
that's not his real name. And
niya.
pati yung story behind it na long lost relative daw ng mga Marcos siya.
Oo, related daw siya sa Marcos. And
Pero
I
hindi
heard
naman
also
daw.
na namimigay pa siya ng mga before.
Bigas-bigas, lahat.
Tulong-tulong.
Tulong-tulong,
no?
oo.
Pero anyway,
Trillionaire daw siya, trillionaire.
Sabi niya? Oh, wow. Penging pera, joke lang. Pero yung yung tungkol din kay, naalala mo, kay Bong Revilla.
Ano yung
Before,
issue yan? You have to...
2009, 2010 ata yun. Yung pagdating kasi sa mga pangalan, diba, remember that?
Kasi meron
alphabetically arrange ang balota. Tapos, kapag Revilla, pang huli na siya doon halos kasi letter R. So, ang ginawa, yung apelido niya is Bong Revilla.
Parang when you, sa application forms, kasi may last name, first name, middle. Sa last name, lalagay niya Bong Revilla pa lang.
Yes. So, last name niya is Bong Revilla Ramon Jr. Oh, yun yung naging
Ramon
niya.
is his first
so, parang
name.
at that time,
Suffix niya is junior.
So, when he ran at that time, so pang number 2, di ba? Kasi letter B
Parang, kasi in fairness, kasi
Number
Ramon
two,
ang
number
name niya.
two.
Pero Ramon, Bong Revilla ang last name niya, tapos junior.
Bong Revilla ang naging last name. Kaya umangat siya sa balota. Kasi nga naman, di ba? So, ang tanong dito, hindi ko na kasi maalala, sobrang tagal na nito. Kung talagang na-change ito, I think na-change ito sa PSA, no?
Para alam ko din sa Comelec, hindi na sila, di ba, hindi na sila tawag dito, alphabetical, di ba? They jumbled it already.
Hindi, ngayon alphabetical.
Ulit.
Kaya nga yung si Mustafa, yung in-interview ko sa One Balita Pilipinas, so mag-reprint na naman yung yung Comelec, 'di ba? So sabi ang nag-suggest si Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan na gawin na lang pang ilalim para
Kasi
hindi na ma-jumble yung numbers ng mga kandidato. Sabi ng Comelec, ay alphabetically arranged kami, so it would be unfair to Mustafa na ilalagay siya sa huli.
So I remember there was a time na hindi siya alphabetical ginumble nila. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng numbering. Kasi kung hindi, alphabetical mo, you don't need the numbers. Kaya ngayon may numbering na.
Pero
kasi
may numbering.
nangyari yun, ginawa ng Comelec, I don't remember when it was. Dahil sa party list, yung, ang word nga ng...
May number 1, 2, 3, something.
One, Bicol, kunyari gano'n.
Kasi syempre yung mga kandidato, gusto nila, unang makikita sila ng mga botante sa balota.
Kasi pag party list, ang daming choices.
Even yung mga ordinaryong kandidato sa Senate, kasi ilan yan. Diba? Out of 200 plus, 100 plus yung mga 60 plus ba? If I'm not mistaken, yung mga confirmed ng Comelec na qualified candidates. Diba? So syempre, ikaw botante ka, pag bigay sa'yo ng balota, yung una mo makikita.
Para
kaya
matapos
sinasabi
na minsan
natin, bago ka pumunta bumoto, lista mo na yung mga mo,
kasi kung di
yung
mo alam,
mga iboboto mo.
Kung di mo alam, overwhelm ka kahit sa party list pa lang at sa dami ng senador.
So pag at least may listahan ka makita, ito na, hanapin ko na lang yung pangalan na dito sa balota. At ayusin nila yung pag-shade. Diba? Yun yung ating pinapakita to. Pero yun nga, going back kay Senator Bong Revilla, yung pinalitan niya yung apelido niya. So, kasi di ba sinasabi naman ng Comelec na unless i-challenge yung nag-file ng certificate of candidacy, ministerial duty lang sila, tanggap lang sila ng tanggap. So, I guess,
walang ngipin
na PSA na tong Bong Revilla.
Walang ngipin ang nila. Wala silang ngipin in terms of processing documents. Basta they, in good faith.
Kaya nga, di ba yung kay Alice Go, di ba, nanalo siya bilang mayor, yung pala, iba yung...
Hindi siya Filipino citizen pala. Alright, happy Friday to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for Buddha's Belly and all those who watched us today. And before we go, I'd like to leave you with a quote. Well done is better than well said. That's from Benjamin Franklin. Remember that?
Practice what you preach. Parang gano'n, diba? Walk the talk.
Walk the talk.
Lead by example, not by words.
Puro dada. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again on Monday. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro. And he's Angelo Castro III.
We are
One News, all sides, all the time.